Boss, thank you. Thank you so much for this. You get me? K-Time is going everywhere. You people, I told you I'm going to be doing this. You get me? Anyways, please don't knock me out.
Not today. You're lucky I've already used up my energy, man. You're lucky.
Nah, don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. All right. First and foremost, I just want to thank you, man. I know how busy you are, and I know for facts, my guy is just coming from Wales. Wales. He lives in Reading to train. It's a privilege. It's honestly a privilege. And out of all the people, the first one thing which really makes you different out of all the people I've spoken to so far, my last YouTube video in Reading, I made a shout out, and you're the only one who responded. That just shows how humble you are. And honestly, thank you so much for this. I don't think, you know, when we speak, people, you might not realize how important this is, but honestly, it's amazing. Okay, me being K-Time, I want to ask you a question which I like asking myself. You, when you're selecting your things, what do you go for? Personality or the appearance?
Personality or appearance?
100% honesty, bro.
100% honesty. I'm a personality type of guy, man. You know what I mean? Like, I think, you know what, yeah, to be honest, I don't think it's about personality, bro. I think it's more about the character of a person, really, because people can put on a personality, but you can't change your character. You know what I mean? Your character is who you are. So for me, if your character is good, you're the type of person I'm looking for. But your personality could be good one day, bad the next day. And looks, to be honest, looks, they're not that important to me. And like judging a person by their looks, yeah, you could end up in a crazy situation. So I've learnt my lessons from not doing that.
Oh, yeah, that means you've been in that situation. You said I've learnt my lesson.
yeah. I've been in a mad situation still, but like, you know what, yeah? Like, I think I'm too mature to be picking girls over looks now, you know what I mean? Like, what I've learned is most important is like, make sure you check the character of these girls before you decide to date them or whatever. You know what I mean? Don't just settle for the personality or the looks, because that can always change. But the character of them, it's always solid, because you can't change your character. It's who you are. It's in your DNA. You know what I mean? It's in their DNA.
You heard that? Yeah. Mature people pick character over just the looks. If you're picking looks, you're not mature.
Exactly.
People, before we start this, obviously people want to know who you are before we go ahead with this. So I'm going to tell you a bit about Tamuka myself. I've not introduced his name. His name is Tamuka Muchapondwa. In that language, it means you're going to get. What's the word? You're going to get destroyed, technically.
You're going to get severely beat up. You know what I mean? Severely. Not just beat up here, but severely. That's what Muchapondo means right there.
What a coincidence that you was going to get that last name.
I know. And then like I became a boxer afterwards, you know? It's like my last name was in correlation with my future. Yeah, you know? It's like my last name was meant for me to be a boxer. So Muchapondo means to be severely beat down, and that's what I plan to do on my opponent.
I was fortunate I went to the same secondary school with him.
Yes.
Bro, I don't know what happened to you, cuz you used to be a fat fatty.
I know, man. I know. I was in the struggle, man. I was in the struggle. Like, I think I might have some pictures for you still, but
you have to send them over.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Thank God I was able to turn it around. You know what I mean? I found something that I was passionate about, and like, and look at me now. So I guess if you, like you said, if someone was picking me based on my looks back then, they would be like, nah, this is not the guy for me. You know what I mean? But I felt like I always had that character of a pure grinder, of someone that was always willing to do what they needed to do to get to where they're going. And like, they would look at me now and think, flipping hell, you've turned it around, man. And like, yeah, that's why I always say it's about the character of a person. You know what I mean? I always had the character and the heart of someone that wanted to achieve big dreams and big goals, and like I'm doing it now. But if you had seen me like maybe 10 years ago, you might have been like, nah, this guy, yeah, he's on a dead team.
Now, you couldn't have said it any better because, you know, the more I speak to you, the more I'm starting to see your picture and how your brain thinks. Because, bro, when I remember, Tina, you obviously related to Tina, isn't it?
Yeah,
and I remember I met you through him. And I always used to see you, Tamuka. Then there was a time you just went from to this. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah, man.
So obviously you had your own tips, and the tips you're giving to people are saying you have to find a motivation.
Yeah, find the motivation, find something that you're passionate about, you know, find something that you love to do, and you know what, yeah, be willing to make the necessary sacrifice to achieve those dreams. You know, like one thing for me was like whatever it took to be a champion is what I was willing to do. If that meant staying in for the whole year and not going out to parties and enjoying certain things, then I had to do those things. And look at me now, man, I'm on top of the world, you know. I'm about to fight in a big fight on TV at the O2 Arena. You know, dreams can't come any more truer than this, man. Come on, man.
You get me? You're not wrong at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not too great with weights in boxing.
Yeah.
How does it work? Does it you fight the same way as, for example, me? I'll be fighting the same way I am.
Yeah. Basically, you find a good weight for you to fight at. So you try and get down. Right now, the biggest thing in boxing is about getting the biggest man in the smallest weight category ever. You know what I mean? So before, I used to fight at 71 kgs, and that was my weight class. And then I was winning fights, I was winning them easy, but then I realized like maybe I could go down to 67. So I pushed myself a little bit harder and went down to 67 kgs, and that's when I became a champion. You know, but like it's doing those type of things and making the right sacrifices, eating right, living right, and you know, living a clean lifestyle. That's what will help you get down into the best weight categories. And like once you do that, you can then perform at your best always.
That's inspirational again. Man, you know what? I never thought I would ever find a guy who well, I have, obviously, my dad is my inspiration, but this guy, I wish the atmosphere in this ring is actually amazing, because the way you're speaking to me, bro, is crazy. But okay, you was once a champion. How did that feel? Man. And you're gonna be a champion. It's gonna happen. Bro, I've seen your fights, you will do it. So tell me, how did that feel when you're walking into a ring and you know that you're the one to beat?
You know what, yeah, it feels great. You know, like let me tell you about my little history of becoming a champion. My first time I became a champion, I became British champion, was in the amateurs when I was about 18, 19 years old. And like I won the ABA championship, and no one in Reading had won the ABA championship since like 1978. And to bring that title back to Reading, yeah, was such a pleasure, and it was such an honor, man. And to get the support of the hometown was a big deal for me. So I won the title in 2012, and it had been almost 36 years since anyone from Reading had been able to do such a thing, you know. And now that I'm pro, I won the Southern Area Championship, and I'm going for the English and British Championship next. So I'm gonna keep you guys updated, and like I'm just gonna say keep watching me, and I've got bigger things to achieve.
100%. You definitely have bigger things to achieve, and this is why I said he is putting Reading on the map. Did you hear that? Since 1970, I don't know. You know what I mean? Honestly, that's amazing, bro. You should give yourself some big credits for that. You know what I mean?
Thanks. For me, yeah, it's always like the thing that keeps me driven is I'm always looking for the next goal. You know what I mean? Like once I achieve one thing, I think, okay, I've reached this goal. What's next? How big can I go? How big can I go? So like, at the moment, my main focus is to become English champion. And then once I become English champion, I'll look at what other opportunities and what other goals that I can try and reach after. You know, and like that's what drives me. That's what keeps me winning. That's what keeps me with that mentality of a champion. And like that's what makes me a champion. Always looking for the next goal. Don't be settled once you achieve one goal. Look for the next one and accomplish that as well. Yeah.
Yo, I'm eating. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm eating. I'm feeding my brain. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay. So you've told us a bit more information about how you got to where you are now. So I'm going to ask you a bit of questions about how you felt in certain situations. For example, before a fight, What do you feel? Do you feel nervous?
You know what, yeah, sometimes you do, but nerves are good for you in boxing, you know what I mean? Nerves make you perform the best, to the best of your ability. So I do feel nervous. Like I remember last November I fought at Wembley Arena, and I come outside just to look and see what the venue and atmosphere is like. And I must have seen like 12,000 people outside and a lot of cameras, and I'm thinking to myself, oh damn, you know what I mean, it's actually happening, you know, this is the moment that I've always wanted, and it's actually here. And like that's when the nerves kick in. But it's like to be a great champion, you gotta be able to fight through that, you know what I mean? You gotta be able to let yourself get past that and go out there and perform. So once I get in the ring, once that bell rings, I'm always ready to perform. But in the changing room, sometimes I'll be nervous. I'll be a nervous wreck. If you see me, you'll be like, man, this guy, he's too nervous. But like once I get in that ring and that bell goes, then it's time to perform. I put my fighting face on and I get the job done.
It's time to go.
Time to go, you know what I mean?
Goodness.
Once the bell goes, it's time to go.
Do you just see the person just like me? You have to eat the meat, you have to finish.
Exactly, you know what I mean? I have the mentality of a lion once I get in the ring, and my opponents are food. So basically, I'm just a lion going to devour his food once that bell rings, you know?
Exactly, and you've not been knocked out. You have not been, and you won't. I'm telling you now, by God's grace, you will not be knocked out.
Exactly. That's the plan. You know what? Continue the winning streak, keep pushing, keep winning, and you know, reach the furthest height, the biggest heights that I can reach. You know.
If you was to give an advice to someone who's starting boxing now, what would you say to them? Or if you was to give an advice to yourself when you was younger, what would you say to yourself now?
I would say to myself, you know what, yeah, continue to stay focused, stay disciplined, and make the necessary sacrifices at the right time. You know what I mean? Don't be always willing to compromise your goals and your dreams for certain frivolous things that won't last, you know? So make sure that you do the things that you need to do, and you stay focused and disciplined. And that's what I would say to myself. And that's what I would say to the young generation as well that are coming up with young boxers. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and make the right sacrifices at the right time, and you will be a champion. It's that simple.
You will be a champion. You heard it for yourself. Before we come to an end, can you please tell these people when, where, and what time they need to be at your fight? Because I will be there. Anyhow, K-Time is there and you lot are not there. Come on, you need to sort it out.
Okay, the next fight is scheduled at the O2 Arena. I'm fighting John O'Donnell, who's the English champion. He has had 32 wins, 2 losses, and 0 draws. But he's the champion, and I'm gonna take away his belt. That's my plan. And it's gonna be on TV as well. It's gonna be on Channel Dave. So make sure you tune in from 7 p.m. It's gonna be a lively event. It's gonna be a great show, and there's gonna be a lot of entertainment, a lot of good fights. And trust me, this is a fight you don't want to miss, man. You know, people will be talking about what happened in this fight the next day. Just make sure you tune in live or you come to the event. Contact me for tickets. I'll put up a link on all my social medias, and you guys will be able to get tickets, come to the fight, or keep up with the up-to-date information about what time I'll be boxing and when I'll be boxing.
Thank you, and I'll also put a link underneath here. And at the same time, if you leave in Reading, show them that sign quick. If you leave in Reading, or if you live anywhere where you can drive, if you have a car, if you have any transport, Whitley Amateur Boxing Club, they train champions. Oh, yeah, that's it. You need to get here. It's not a joke. If you know yourself, you want to be a future champion in boxing, get yourself to Whitley Amateur Boxing Club. It's not a joke out here, you get me? These people are serious. I'm looking around, it's not a joke. You know what I mean? So come on, get yourself here and get yourself on that journey to be successful.